Lee, is this something you're going to continue to do? Sell Bitcoin exposure, lessen that Bitcoin exposure, and increase Solana exposure?
Massive news today. Make sure you watch the entire video. Smash the like button. Let's start right here. Bitcoin reserves on exchanges just hit an almost 7-year low. We have not seen these levels since 2018. According to Quant Fund, Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges have plummeted to levels not seen since November 9th, 2018. Whales are accumulating Bitcoin en masse, and in this case, whales are institutions. Wirehouses continue to keep turning on solicited sales. We told you about that in this video.
You're probably talking about a couple $100 billion in assets had access to it before, and now we're talking about $2 trillion that have access to it. The reason why it's important is because we're going to go from it being approved in this manner on Morgan Stanley, then Wells Fargo will follow, then UBS will follow, then regional firms like Stifel Nicholas and Robert W. Baird will follow. Okay. LPL will follow, Hightower will follow, Rockefeller will follow. These are all organizations that have hundreds of billions, if not trillions themselves. You know, the Wells Fargo and the UBS, they've got trillions of dollars of assets under management. So it's the equivalent to opening up $10 trillion of again, liquid net worth. This is not 10 trillion in commercial real estate, right? This is 10 trillion in money that can be moved at the click of a mouse from one stock or one sweep account into a Bitcoin ETF. So this is very, very meaningful over the next 3 to 6 months because all those platforms are going to be opened up.
Morgan Stanley was the first, but there's plenty more to come after that. Now, the Bitwise CEO, Hunter Horsley, just tweeted out, a well-known bank with $1 trillion in client assets has just approved the Bitwise Crypto Industry Innovators ETF for solicited access across wealth management. Thrilled to support these advisors, another step in Bitcoin and crypto entering the mainstream. So our news from the other day was that Morgan Stanley was the first wirehouse. They have 1.5 trillion assets under management, and they turned on solicited sales. Their advisors are allowed to reach out and sell the BlackRock ETF, sell the Fidelity ETF. This was just the start, and we're seeing a continuation of that. Now, a well-known bank with $1 trillion in client assets just approved Bitwise. This goes along with the global money supply exploding up, breaking out of a 4-year consolidation. Guys, smash the like button if you're getting value. Smash the like button if I'm cluing you in to something you wouldn't have otherwise known. Now, check this out. Despite the dip, and Ethereum dipped hard the other day at almost 50%, but despite the dip, like Bitcoin, the Ethereum balance on exchanges just hit a new low. This is insanely bullish. In fact, Chainalysis reveals just one single whale has nearly accumulated 100 million in Ethereum over the past 2 months. He tried to be stealthful. We found out. That's why you subscribe to Altcoin Daily. We tell you this stuff. And to go even further, because the Ethereum ecosystem is exploding as a whole, the amount of Ethereum in smart contracts is approaching the 40% mark. This is insane. The market still doesn't grasp how scarce ETH truly is. Just imagine what happens if demand picks up even slightly. Ethereum will melt faces. Be ready. Combine that with an explosion in the Layer 2 ecosystem. It seems that at least recently, investors are flocking to ETH over Bitcoin as markets recover. Ethereum funds also lead the Bitcoin ETFs in monthly performance with 150 million inflows in August so far. BlackRock's Ethereum ETF on track to hit 1 billion in net inflows. Maybe it did today. And Grayscale, this is an interesting metric. Grayscale's Ethereum Trust records its first zero outflow day after 12 consecutive days of outflows. Now, in contrast, Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF Trust, it took 78 consecutive days of outflows before it broke the streak. So it seems like as we continue to get further into this maturing bull market, Bitcoin's doing great, but more people seem to be eyeing Ethereum. And in addition to that, more people seem to be eyeing Solana. VanEck's head of digital assets, Matthew Siegel, recently said that the Solana ETF approvals are inevitable. You know, Brazil might be a smaller market than the US, but there's still a market. Brazil recently approved a spot Solana ETF. Now, VanEck's head of digital assets says Brazil's approval of a Solana ETF signals that a US counterpart isn't just a probability, it's as inevitable as the next block in the chain. What's your take on this? Most people forget Solana's partnered with Shopify, Solana's partnered with PayPal. Solana's got a lot going for it. It surprised me that more and more institutions and businesses are coming out and saying, we have a Bitcoin strategy, we have an Ethereum strategy, but most particularly, we're bullish on Solana and we have a Solana strategy. This is Leah Wald of Cypherpunk Holdings. I always thought she was more Bitcoin maximal-ish, and she is a big believer in Bitcoin, but it seems she is also a big believer in Solana. Here she tells us why.
We kind of know Cypherpunk is basically a Bitcoin holding company, maybe similar in structure to MicroStrategy, which the US audience might be more familiar with, but it seems like recently you've been investing more heavily in Solana.
That's absolutely right. And first of all, Tim and Katie, thank you so much for having me on. We've been very interested in the Solana ecosystem. Obviously, there's been dynamics at play for Ethereum and Bitcoin and their growth, and also maybe some hiccups along the way. But for the Solana ecosystem, we're seeing large development from the platforms, from the infrastructure, for the community. And it's very important to note, for the growth and sustainability of a token and its blockchain is how well that ecosystem and the community developers are building on that ecosystem and engaged.
Lee, is this something you're going to continue to do? Sell Bitcoin exposure, lessen that Bitcoin exposure, and increase Solana exposure? What can investors sort of take away from the strategy moving forward?
As of now, you can see from the public statements that that has been the strategy. We're very interested in following Solana and the movements of Sol moving forward.
What would be sort of a typical asset allocation in the end? Like, what's the target asset allocation?
So we're also ramping up our staking operations. So we're interested in not only the price movements and holding Sol on the balance sheet, but also being an active participant in the Sol and Solana staking ecosystem. So from an operations perspective, we're trying to engage and enhance performance. As for asset allocation, things are definitely changing at Cypherpunk Holdings, so I hope you stay tuned.
Hey, if you're going to Token2049 in Singapore in September and you want to be a part of a great side event that we'll be a part of, we're going to be part of this. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description. Sign up for this. Join us. This is the side event to be at. Web3 with Toby and Brent. This is going to be so big and so worth it. They're not even plugging it as a side event. They're saying this is going to be the event to be at. But Token2049 is great in general, so hopefully we see you at this. So, institutions like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, now is the time to get serious about your crypto journey. Crypto is just about to explode to its next leg up. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. Join the Altcoin Daily team if you're interested in making money in crypto. Subscribe to our channel. See you tomorrow.